Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the video, and in this one we're going to be in the even 90. We're going to be looking at MALINOVKA, but we're going to be looking at it from the south spawn this time. A couple weeks ago I showed you guys a really great bush that you could take from the west, and are there other options? Absolutely, but you know, people are going to go where they want to go, and they're going to find areas for themselves that might work better for them. Every game is different, but for this particular game, I'm experimenting. I figured, why the heck not to come up here and see if I can, make this work from the other spawn. And we end up getting spotted by the star one. The even 90 doesn't have great torque, so getting up here, it does take some time. So I end up leaving here. I actually try and get, I think, in this bush for a moment, but then the style one starts to press, and my heavies are very passive here. The Scorpion kind of comes up, but then I guess he retreats, or he gets killed here. The 703, TVP, KV4, Tortoise, like, obviously the Tortoise is too slow, but these guys all in here decided not to come any further once they saw the Lorraine here, and Star 1 obviously then pushes, so I need to leave this area. From this bush, my hope is that I can spot people in this area, but it's really not necessary from this spawn. And the reason I say that is because you have this bush area right here. So I'm going to end up going here to this area in about a minute. I'm just trying to run away from the Star 1 and the Concept 1B, and we do end up taking a shot from the Concept 1B. I'm kind of trying to stay down here so that tank destroyers don't have a shot on me, because the Su-130 is over here, so I actually come this way, and then I turn back around. Like, I'm trying to just throw these guys off completely. And I end up getting relit by the Concept 1B, so I should have just kept running, and the Concept 1B ends up firing here and gets me right there. So, is what it is. I lose 381 HP, but at this point I need to stop, wiggling around here and just go to my bush that I like to go to. So, this is an option. Once I get into this bush, I'll kind of draw out the options with the new Microsoft pen or whatever it's called that I got. There was a recommendation on my channel to start drawing on the actual screen rather than using my mouse, because it's hard to see the mouse, and I understand that. So I did take a look into that, and I got something that I could draw on the screen now, so I will show you guys. So I went into this bush just temporarily because there's a lot going on in this map. The Su-130 was over here, and then I guess he retreated. The Concept 1B and the Star 1 are pretty close, so I'm going to be careful on how I do this and just kind of think about it for a moment and make sure that I put the bushes and these trees in front of the Star 1 where the Star 1 is sitting. And I'm right on time, and I'm lucky because the T-832 was pushing in this way right when I got into here. So now that I'm in here, I'm going to kind of show you guys something real quick. So let me use this drawing feature I got. From this bush right here, I highly recommend you take this bush, guys, because what you're going to end up spotting is obviously someone that sits here. People that sit here, we've spotted an ISU that was over here. You'll spot people that try and run through here even once they get to a certain area, because of the way the terrain works, the hill is kind of high, but I'm telling you, I've been able to spot people doing this from this bush. If a light tank does get aggressive and try to do this play, which it's a good play, I recommend it, but you'll counter them once they poke up right here, and you can do this from the going the other direction as well. If you want to go like this and get up right into this area right here, you can do that, but I feel like it's not as effective as sitting here, at least from this spawn, right? Because there's not really an equivalent bush. Let me pause this as I explain this. There's not really an equivalent bush on this side. In talking about this one right here that I'm in, you can try and sit here as a light tank from the west spawn, like northwestern spawn, I guess. So we'll call this the west spawn and this the south spawn. Usually they're opposite, but it is the case on this map. That's the way the map kind of is laid out. So from the west spawn, this is your only option, or again, you can try and come up into here. There also is the bush that's up here that I explained in a previous video. I took this bush right here, and I was able to spot, a lot of this area down here on the map. So you could try that from the other spawn, but I mean, I don't really recommend that every game. It works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. The other options are for you to just try and get really aggressive and come here, or take the standard bush, guys, or try this area right here. Right? There's no other options really on MALINOVKA than those options. However, from this spawn, you have this bush line, and I'm telling you, this bush line is vital. You can get into here with any light tank. It's very rare to get spotted from the start of the game, and it's close enough where you could spot like people in here and people here and people here, and then on top of that, you're even spotting people that are going up like this. You're going to spot people that come all the way up like this. Even if they're on the edge of the hill, you'll spot this entire area as well. You'll spot people that are trying to make a play to get into this corner right here. Look, we got this guy spotted. We got this guy spotted. We will have a Hori spotted up here. Like, the amount you can spot from this location is absurd, guys. I'm telling you, just go to this bush. Like, this bush is broken. Especially if you're going to get in here with an even 90, because you will never get lit by anybody. There's a T832 that eventually comes out to this area. He doesn't even spot me. I'm like 75, 80 meters away from him, and with the even 90, once you're in a bush like this, like a thick bush, you have to get proxied. So you can see the spotting damage we're getting on the ISU. People are also trying to take shots at the Su-130. We had the Hori lit up here. And the amount you'll spot, like, this game is kind of rare because we lost the hill immediately, but I'm telling you, the amount of things you'll spot from this area is vital for your team. So I highly recommend that you go here. And again, I know the drawing feature takes a little while, but I like to visualize for you guys everything that you're able to light from here. Because as you can see from my view, you will be able to light someone that comes through like this. And then you have this bush, this entire area. Like, there's so much, guys. I can't emphasize enough. Go to this area and you will have a good time on this map. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in terms of light tank positioning. We talked about these little dips, right? The standard bushes. We talked about this area. We talked about this area that I took on Malinovka from the opposite spawn on the hill. So that should give you guys a good idea from both spawns of where you can go to kind of start off the game. But what separates a good light tank player from an average light tank player is going to be the person that knows when to retreat and the person that knows when to advance and all that. So you have to know when to stay, when to retreat, when to kind of go up to another bush, because there's a lot of people that know the initial spots to go as a light tank, the initial bushes to go, and from there they're kind of confused. They don't really know where to go. They don't know what to look for, right, in order to advance or in order to retreat. And that's fine, because that's very average, right? Like, I've been playing this game for years. I'm still not anything close to one of the best light tank players in the game, but I've learned a lot over the years, and I kind of have a sixth sense now for when I need to make a different play, make a move, right? So we have the T832 lit here, we still have the ISU lit, we still have the Hori lit, and T832 is eventually going to go down here. He's poking on the tortoise, and I believe it's like maybe the S1 that gets a shot to him because he has a good angle down there. Whoever takes this shot, they end up cleaning him up pretty soon, and he dies, and then it's just a matter of trying to clean up the ISU and worrying about where this Hori is. So eventually this guy's going to go down. Just kind of fast forward until that happens. There we go. And 8 to 5, we're at 5k spotting sitting in this bush, and I didn't have to do anything. We're still in this bush. I haven't even made a play to advance yet, guys, and I have 5k spotting. So I'm going to take some shots at the ISU, kind of seeing if I'm lit as well. And again, I always explain to you guys, I love using Sixth Sense as a map to determine where people are. Because I didn't get spotted here, it tells me that the Hori is not in an area where he can light me, so I'm going to go ahead and advance to this bush, spot the Scorpion G because someone was actually pinging him, but I was on the move anyway to go over here. And there you go, here's the Scorpion G, we get some more spotting on him, and now I need to know when I need to move, because again, I don't want to get lit here. I don't want to give away my location, because I've already been spotted multiple times, and I've made some risks in this game already, and I'm down to almost half my HP. So I want to start conserving my HP and be a little more careful. So Scorpion G is going to poke here, and this is giving people shots. I guess no one really had the cursor on him for that moment, but we're lighting this guy, and I'm just sitting in this bush temporarily because there's, you know, no reason for me to retreat all the way back to here. I could have even got spotted by the Scorpion if I went all the way back here, but from this bush as well, like, I can spot anyone who's, like, if the Hori decides that he wants to press, I'll spot him coming in. If the Scorpion pokes here, I'll still spot him in this bush. If someone wants to try and push this way, I will also spot them from here. You can see, I can see this corner and stuff. So This is a pretty good spot. What I'm concerned about is this is also wide open though. Like the Forest Spirit is all the way back here, so if the ISU maybe wants to push, he can do that. And the Batchat 12T is still unlit on the map. Keep that in mind, guys, if you're looking at this. We still have a Ho-Ri and a Batchat that are completely dark on the map. We don't even know where their location is. We can try and guess. My guess is that the Batchat would be somewhere down here because he hasn't spotted me the whole game. It hasn't been lit. And it turns out that that was the case. He was sitting down here in like G or F1 or whatever when we go after him. Or H1, I'm sorry. It's like that area down there, H1. So at this point, I'm going to start getting aggressive. I'm going to help the T-49 because I see that he's full HP. I'm going to take that shot into the Scorpion, and I'm going to keep pushing forward. I try and take a shot there into this guy, and I bounce. I think the Tortoise was trying to get a shot to him. I might have blocked his shot, but in any case, this guy goes down, and now we just have to worry about 2 ISUs and the Ho-Ri that's been spotted up here. So that answers our question pretty quickly for where the other Ho-Ri was. He's now down, and now we're just pushing in, guys. T-49, or I'm sorry, S1 is able to clean up the ISU here, and I'm gonna just kind of ignore this Ho-Ri for now. I'm not really concerned with him. I want to figure out where the Batchat is and go hunt the Lorraine. And remove Artie from this game, because Artie can be pretty powerful on an open map like this. So if I can eliminate the Lorraine, that would probably help out my team. So I'm going to do that. You'll see me push through here. We spot the Lorraine over here, and I'm going to take those shots at him. I hit him once, hit him twice, and he's gone. And now we're going to advance and go after the ISU and try and figure out where the Batchat is, and here he is, right? So this whole time he was sitting probably in this bush line, and this is what I mean when I tell you guys, you want to be effective in where you're sitting. You want to know when to retreat, when to advance. When you are not being effective anymore and not spotting people, you need to move, unless you know you're in a really good spot and you're just kind of waiting for their team to press. But in this case, my team was free to do whatever they wanted, like in this whole area of the map, right? This whole area of the map was open because the Batchat was sitting way down here and wasn't really doing that much. So, you know, not to insult this guy, but just always make sure you're being an effective person on your team, right? You want to try and be spotting, you want to try and be doing damage, you want to be doing something, and I think he was just passive for way too long. So I'm going to come after this guy. I end up ramming him. I shouldn't have rammed him because the even 90, like, you don't want to ram people in the even 90. You're always going to take more damage because the even 90 is the smallest tank in the game. But I ended up ramming him because at this point I don't really care, and I got one shot to him. We did, what was that, 396 damage to him. The T-49 cleans him up here. Actually, it was the Tortoise, it looks like. But the T-49 gets a nice ram into him, and that's the game, guys. That is the game. 5468 assist, and we had 1,668 damage, and that's it. So one more time, I'll kind of draw on this map and show you, you know, some of the bushes that you can take. Here's the standard bush from the western spawn. Here's the standard bush from the southern or eastern spawn. You're going to take it like so, and you're going to take this one like so. However, I don't go here anymore, and the reason, if you're wondering why, I might not have said this at the beginning of the video, I don't really like taking the standard, I call it the standard bush. I don't like taking these standard bushes anymore because so many people blind fire them. We were getting blind fired by the Concept 1B. I don't know if you saw that in the replay, but we did get blind fired by the Concept 1B. He didn't hit me, but he tried twice to hit me there. So he was a very good player. But we were sitting right in here. So this is the area that I went to. And you can take that from this spawn. And I'm telling you, anytime you get the eastern spawn, if you don't want to take the risk in getting blind fired, don't go to the standard bush. Just go to this bush line up here, and I'm telling you, you will spot this area. You will spot people that are coming all the way up like this. You will spot people in this bush line right here where the ISU was. You will spot people like the Scorpion that poked up right here. We even spotted the Ho-Ri like all the way in this corner on the hill. And everyone on the hill, guys, like this, like on the edge of the hill, you will spot. And if you lose the hill, you'll spot this entire area too. Like this entire area, you will spot as long as they don't get close enough to you, right? Like in the even 90, they need to be within your proxy circle. But I've gone to this bush in many other light tanks, and it's worked. You're just not sure of when people are going to spot you, because in the even 90, it's almost guaranteed that you aren't lit until Sixth Sense, well, until Sixth Sense goes off, obviously, but until they're in your proxy circle. Whereas in other light tanks where you don't have nearly as much concealment, you might get spotted at maybe even 100 meters. I would say that's even that number is kind of rare, maybe 75 meters or whatever, but you guys understand what I mean. In the even 90, you're invisible until you're proxy lit. So it works much better in the even 90, but I'm telling you, the amount of stuff you will spot here, guys, and you will even spot someone that comes through like this. The other potential plays you can make are these little corners right here. You can also try this, guys, if you want. Like, try this. The thing is with this play is it's also kind of risky, so I don't know, like, what I feel like you can get here, but the chance that you get YOLO'd by people like this or like that is fairly common, especially in lower tier games. Like, people love to YOLO you here, and you also are kind of in a ditch here. Like, it's very difficult, in my opinion, to advance from here. You usually have to get into this bush line or this bush line. You got to kind of crawl up like on the edge here and on the edge and get into this bush line or this one without being spotted, depending on which spawn you come from, and then you can kind of start to progressively scout from there. But I prefer to just sit in this bush. Like, for most of the game, as I'm telling you, you light everything from this spawn, and if you are on this spawn, then you can try and take the risk and make this play, guys. So that's an option. I like to outline all the options for you guys, and hopefully that helps you to visualize everything. So let's take a look at the end plates. And this was a mastery. 5906 spotting was what the total came out to after some of the blind spotting. 1668 damage. I wonder if it's because I'm on not the full screen mode, I'm on the windowed borderless. That might be why it's getting a little glitched up. But 1668 damage, guys, 2 kills, 1368 experience. We got the spotting badge here, the scout badge, whatever that's called. And here's the detailed report. We made 57k because of all the assist damage. And there you go. That's it, guys. Concept 1B had a pretty good game, but he wasn't going to carry this one for his team. We worked together with really half this team played very, very well, and we're able to come out with the win. So that's it, guys. If you like this kind of content or you're learning from it, do subscribe. It helps me out. Like, comment, share the video, guys. All that helps it to get recommended more, and I will see you guys for the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.